Somebody told me once that pain is a game we all gotta play. Then why am I in overtime instead of every other day? I know that for the good of life, there's a price we all gotta pay. But I paid to the post, still don't know what it is to have a good day. Yeah, since everybody knows what it is that I need to do, but do me a favor, let me worry about me and you worry about you. I don't need no one to put me down, I'm on the ground, can't get no lower. I don't need no one to hang around and make me proud, just makes me look older. I don't need no one to black my eye and tell me lies, don't wanna cry over nobody else. No, 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 I can do that all by myself. Somebody told me once that running from the rain don't make no sense. I had my own dark clouds for a while now. It goes wherever I'm going. Yeah. They telling me the grass just might be greener on the other side. Don't wanna take a chance on your car when I got grass even goes down. Since everybody knows what it is that I need to do, but do me a favor, yeah, let me worry about me, you worry about you. I don't need no one to put me down, I'm on the ground, can't get no lower. I don't need no one to hang around and make me proud, just makes me look older. I don't need no one to blow my eyes, tell me hurt so many nights, cried so many times, trying to make it right. Just didn't have time. You ignored all my tears. In hopes they'd disappear. Tried to let it show, but I guess you just don't want to know. I came to you in love. I came to you in earnest. Could you possibly explain why the flames, why the fern there? Oh, just needed to get it clear. I was hoping that you would hear. I tried to let it go, but I can't. You just don't want to know. Now it's true that God is always there. He said he'd never leave. But at times the only touch is what I need. And if I had a dime for every time I tried to call your name, some tell me I'd be wealthy. But I learned that I told. Yes, I did. I discovered I can make it. Oh, nights so long, cold, so cold. You don't know. I learned that I could take it. Oh, now I wouldn't change. Not for the knowledge that I gained. I learned that I could grow. I really did. I tried to let it show. I did. I tried to let it go. But I guess you just don't want to. And welcome to the No BS Duo Show, where you'll have here Zaria Clayton, who is coming to tell the story of her mother. She survived everything, but the one thing she thought she would never have to worry about surviving, she lost her life too. And her daughter is here to unpack it and tell us all about it. So we want to welcome her to the show, along with Angie Reed, who is also founder of such services that we provide as we talk about domestic violence. And we will also have with us our co-host Kim, and of course me, Shauna. And today on How to Put Your Crown and Know Your Worth, we're gonna break this down and we're gonna let Zaria tell us how. So again, welcome ladies, how y'all doing?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
Hey, everybody.
Fine,
How
thank you.
y'all
Fine, thank you.
doing? So, again, we have Zaria on the show with us. Hello, Zaria, all the way from Missouri. Is that right? From Missouri? I think we lost the mute there. We got you, sweetie. And she's there. Okay, Zaria, can you hear me?
You can't hear me?
Yes. Hello, honey. How are you? You can tell us. We here for you. You're not by yourself.
Oh, I'm hanging in there, to be honest.
But you
Like,
remember
it's a
what I
wave of
told you.
emotions.
I know. It's hard and it's still fresh. But we applaud you because you're being strong enough to tell the story. And so we're going to go ahead and identify how did we get here. So my aunt Angie Reed there, she sent me an Instagram video. And on the Instagram video, we have a lot of bad reception. I don't know where it's coming from. You have to excuse us today, y'all. We had technical difficulties. Of course, you know, we would have been on, but it seemed like this message did not want to go forth. But we already know that some don't want to go forth. There's a reason behind it. So let me see where we can come on. Anyway, we had I received a video on Instagram, and it's from my Aunt Angie, and it was Zaria on the show telling us about what happened to her mom. Would you like to relive that moment for us?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
So there was a video that was going around from the show that you did to tell your story about your mom.
Mm-hmm.
So what had happened? How did you get to the show? What was the situation? Could you explain?
I'm sorry, guys. To be honest, like how things really happen, I have been trying to be strong and stuff like that, but how things have happened is kind of blurry, to be honest. Like, I was getting messages and stuff, and I made a poem in like 2014, 15, when I was like 15 or 16 years old about my mom. And right after my mom was murdered and her death and stuff, I shared the poem because it was something I made for her to hear, and it was about basically the abuser. Like, I named the poem "Just Listen." I just want my mom to listen so bad. Even though we are children, even though I'm 21 now, even though we are children, sometimes we are your biggest eyes. And I just really want her to just listen.
But eventually she
That's
did
how
listen. But eventually she did listen. But at the time it
Oh,
was
yeah.
listening because of her heart, it was taken advantage of, and we ended up to that day because she decided that enough was enough and she was walking away.
She served him a eviction, 30-day eviction in January, and he never left. Like, he said he's not leaving, and he don't got nowhere to go, and she's not fair and stuff like that. So him and her been separated. Like, he was just staying there just so he can get picked up or go somewhere else. But but how long he was staying he just never left. And due to the quarantine, he wasn't out late nights and being gone for 3 days straight with his friends. It kind of shut all that down. So
So quarantine really didn't make it no better. And what a lot of us was afraid of, because we sat there and we said that it was because of quarantine we was going to start witnessing a lot of stories such as this, where there would be more stories about domestic violence that was usually hidden and escaped by running to work. But now you had to sit in it and deal with it, and it was nowhere to run. And that was kind of the situation your mom was in?
Yes. And the thing is, people think just because just because they're not hitting you, because they did have physical altercations before, but just because they're not hitting you and stuff like that, just them being toxic and verbally abusive is just as worse. Because when you arguing, tensions get high and stuff like that. And I'm sorry.
I'm gonna tell you, you are among family right now. I know you may say, you don't know me, you just met me. How can you consider me family? We're here for you. Even though we're in Philly, don't you think it don't take us much to jump in the car and come get you? Because we'll come get you. And we come be there for you. We'll stand right beside you. If you need to call us, we right there too. And even though we're divided by 4 speakers right now and 4 screens, and it seemed like for some reason today we want to have all this static technology going on that we don't normally have going on, we are here with you. And the reason why I know how you feel right now is because the last couple of days, this was the problem that I had. When it was getting close to the time, because we talked and we was like, okay, we got this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna handle this, we're gonna talk about domestic violence, we're gonna tell the people, we're gonna talk to the people. If anybody want to call in, we're gonna talk. We had it already. But the day that we saw that one picture, and that picture was, how am I gonna do this without you? And you wrote that to your mom. And it was like, it ripped me apart, because so often we find ourselves in a position where we're at that place where we like, how am I going to do this? Like, you standing forth and coming forth, this is how you're doing it. This is how you're doing it without her, because you're telling her story. So don't you dare feel bad today, because you're taking the most bravest step that anybody ever have to take today. And you're telling everybody her story and what's going on, so that others could, also get through from it. So let me give y'all the disclaimer. There's a couple of them. So the first one is, get your glasses, get your drinks, pop your bottles, because it's about to go down. Y'all gonna need it after this. Y'all gonna need a drink after this. You're gonna need a drink.
Even if it's cold water.
Even if it's cold water. And in my case, it's an evergreen cherry lemonade. So you're gonna need your drink. The second disclaimer is my opinion, not your fact. I can sit here all day and give you my opinion, but it's my opinion. It's not your fact. The last disclaimer is, if you ever see Kim start doing this and this and this, that means she got something to say. So we're going to stop instantly and hear what she got to say, okay?
So first of all, I want to, again, Zaria, just say thank you for sharing your story with us, sharing your life with us, sharing your experience with us. I know that when we talked before, we listened and we got the full story. Shauna, can you bring me back for a second? Thank you. We got the full story of what's going on. And what I'm seeing and what I know is that every day in dealing with the loss of a loved one is a different day. And we don't always get the same response, or you don't always have the same response to the same questions. Some days it's just, I don't want to say anything, or I can't say anything. And or some days you're very talkative and it flows and you allow yourself that. I just want to tell you to continue to allow yourself to feel how you feel, and don't feel obligated to have to expose everything, to say exactly the same things that you said before. Be true to yourself and be true to your feelings. There's no pressure here whatsoever. And like Shauna said, we are here. We're standing with you. We're locking arms. Even though it's virtual, we are still locking arms with you. You have a sisterhood that's here that has prayed for you. even in the midst of us preparing today and even me watching you, still praying for you. So we're walking this out together with you. So take your time. And it is what it is.
Angie, you want to say something?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I want to tell you how beautiful you are. And I don't know your mother, but I know your mother was a strong woman because she produced a strong woman. Shauna, can I see your face, please?
You know
Thank
what?
you.
You know what? Now, I already told y'all. Now
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
Go ahead,
But
because it's needed.
being on that other side, I was a mother with 3 children. Pastor's wife, first lady, co-pastor, who survived domestic violence. And when you're in that position as the parent, your children are your eyes. But as a parent, your view is more panoramic. How am I going to take care of my kids? How I'm going to move my kids? The dislocation. There's so many other layers when a parent is dealing with domestic violence. Mine wasn't physical because crazy, no crazy, but emotionally, mentally, and verbally are just as worse. So I commend you on this day for your mother's strength that has been birthed inside of you, that she has given you the ability to speak and to help someone else. Just learn to trust the process of your healing. As it was said, every day is not the same day, but there's no limit on when you will heal. Just trust the process, but don't stop operating in your mother's strength, in your mother legacy, by helping someone else. Because my vow as a first lady was, I would never let a first lady go through this alone. I know thousands of them, but I walked alone. None of them came to help me. Family did, but none of them with that title. So my vow was, I'll never let them walk alone. And your vow is, you're the voice of the mother who dealt with domestic violence. But like you said, we love you. I'm here for you. Anything I can do. Shauna can attest to that. I love on you, kiss on you, whatever it is. Pray for you, pray you through. Come see about you, send you some cookies. Whatever it is that my heart leads me to do for you. Know today, with these 2 wonderful women who are the founder of this podcast, it was not by coincidence that this happened today. Somebody needs what you're saying. So don't think you're not valuable, because you're also valuable. You're valuable to us. Now you done gained another family. And you can rest in that, baby.
But to give you, and if you didn't think that you had the strength of your mom, let me tell you how I know you did. And let me tell you how I know how strong your mom was. Anytime you can see past somebody's flaws as deep as that and still say, in spite of that, I love you, meaning that I care the betterment of your life. I see that person inside of you, that better person, and I'm going to help you get that better person. Even to that day, she was being nice, taking him home. She was being nice. And that showed you that even after she was like, you know what? We can't work it. We're not going to do this. But I'm still going to care about you. I'm still going to make sure you are right. But we together is not going to be all right. And that takes a strong person, especially after loving them for 18 years. So that's how I know how strong you were, because even though you said, I don't know how I'm going to do this, you went on numerous shows. You had numerous interviews, and you said, I'm going to tell. You better that. That's what you did. You said, I'm telling. And even when you told me about the things that was going on, it was you that stood next to your mom and was like, all right, you ain't doing this no more. This is it. I done sat back and watched this for long enough. That ain't gonna happen. And it took that strongness of your mom to write that poem, to be those eyes, to help her to say, wow, that's what you see. But just like Auntie Ange said, I didn't want you to see that. I didn't want you to, I've been trying to make sure you wasn't a part of that. So now you're letting me know that, okay, I need to do better. I need to do more. I need to do something. So yes, that takes a strong woman. And I told you when we first met, what did I say? You are a strong woman. And if you don't think you are, turn around and look at where you come from and you will see just how strong you are.
You know, grieving is really an emotional roller coaster. Some days I feel strong and enthusiastic, and then some days like, dang, I'm still a kid. I really miss my mom. Like yeah, I'm like broadcasting her, telling her story, but I really just want to be held like a child, like that motherly love. I just miss it, and I'm not gonna lie, it's one of them weekdays for me right now, but I'll be okay.
And you're a mom yourself, right?
Huh?
And you're a mom yourself.
Yes.
How old is your baby?
She's only 9 months.
But you know, it's okay not to be all right. It's okay not to be okay. It's really okay not to be okay. But you make sure that I get your information through my niece Shauna. Because I'm not your mother, not trying to replace it, but I am a mother. So I can send you some things. I can send you some virtual kisses and some virtual hugs and, you know, come and sit on my lap a little bit and let me kiss on the baby. I can do that. That's what I owe to you. That's my obligation because your mother was a sister like me fighting a fight. And I have to represent her.
You know, there's a young lady by the name of Nicole Frazier, that's my cousin, and she said to let you know that it takes courage to say what you say and to do what you're doing. It takes courage. Mm-hmm. And she said that's a part of healing. Is a part of healing.
Yeah.
I'm
sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
Apologize. No, you don't apologize.
I was about to tell you something. As a child, when you lose a parent, unless you experience it, you won't understand the pain. You don't understand the hurt. You don't understand the detachment from that. And even though, like, we hear a lot of times people giving us sound advice, they can look at us and say, you're a very strong young lady, because yes, you are. Because we see what you're doing and you're standing for your mom and you stood in proxy for her and you're still doing it and you're standing for yourself and you're standing for your daughter. You're still standing. But we have those moments as a child who has lost a parent. We have those moments where we want that phone call, where we want that hug, where we want that I love you from our parent. And I'm on the opposite end. I didn't lose my mom, but I lost my father. But we had a very close relationship. That was my dad. So that's why I was saying, like, that process that you go through is really a lifelong process of trying to, you learn how to cope. And every day is different. But always know that you are never alone. You're never alone. There are always people who are praying for you. Like, even if you don't know that they are, they're thinking about you, they're praying for you, they're extending themselves. You can't hear us. We can't hear you.
Here she go. Amen. Here she go. Maybe she blinked back out again.
Okay, she'll be back.
I'm proud of you, ladies.
Yes, Bakira, you're right, boo. This is the new norm, and sometimes it's hard to deal with the new norm. And it's like now I wake up in the morning, and now it's like this is my new norm. This is it. And you're right. This is what you deal with. Can you hear us now, Zai? See if we lost her again. I'm not sure she can hear us again. And this is what I love. Normally, we do not have this problem.
But you know why? We already know why this.
Yeah.
We know why this is a move of God.
That's it. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
And the situation is like when we said before, you know, you never know who home you're hitting on this. Like Nicole, my cousin, had no idea that she experienced this. And she said she was a victim. And at some point, we all were some type of victim. You know, they may not have laid hands on us, but it was something that they said to us to keep holding us down. That made us victims. You know, I dealt with domestic violence that I dealt with the mere fact that he knew how to control me through my kids. And he knew that was my weakness. So therefore, everything he would say was, I'm gonna take your kids. Or you know you're not gonna be able to keep your kids. And by me being paranoid to lose my kids, and all of y'all know what all I had to go through to have my kids, I was scared. I'm like, I went through all this to have my kids, let you walk, and then after you was the one who's abusing and hurting me, stepping out on me. So, you know, and I had to still keep that smile on because I did not want my boys to see what mommy was going through, to let alone let my boys grow up to become like him or to get with someone like me. And if you're going to get with somebody like me, they were going to see a strong person. But during that time, before I got that strength to move forward, I was still captive and under his foot until I felt the strength to realize that, wait a minute, I'm rolling this boat by myself. And no, you can't do nothing to me that I can't do to myself. And so with that being done, that's how we was able to move forward. But now that we yes, verbally, mentally, it all equals. You are so right. You right? Are you ready to tell us anything, or you want to just be loved on right now? Because you could keep being loved on right now.
I'm ready. I can tell whatever, like from the beginning to the end. It's been like an emotional. I can tell it all. My mind is kind of foggy right now, to be honest. So you just guide me in what you want me to talk about, because
you know, you told me
it's raining in those days.
You said that they did not allow you to tell her whole story. They took stuff out that you felt should have been told. What was that?
They really wanted like the juicy stuff. Like, I was just talking about how the verbal arguments, like how he would like make her feel less than herself, minimize her, make it feel like she's not worthy or not worth more. It's like the verbal things that happen, but they, they kind of took the physical and ran with it. So it's now I feel like I'm giving off the wrong message. If a woman is watching it and they're like, "Oh, well, he was beating on her. That can't happen to me." Like, it very much well can happen to you, because when y'all having a verbal argument, tensions get high, and he just want to kick it up to the next side. He can easily take your life. So that's the message I was really trying to get across. And they just wanted like the not the juicy, I guess the juicy parts and stuff like that. But he ended up getting physical very much towards the end.
And the thing that made me mad with him was he had no remorse, and all he was concerned about was how bad he was looking on TV. I was like,
oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
What?
That's his personality. He's very narcissistic. He felt like, well, what he did wasn't that bad, and he didn't do anything wrong. And he told my mom. No, he didn't tell my mom. He told the detectives when they came there, like, why did you kill her? And he said, I killed her because I didn't want to be homeless. And I killed her because I had nowhere else to go. and I don't want her talking to anybody else. Because my mom was leaving him. He knew that. And my mom was just trying to be kind to give him a ride instead of walking 3-something in the morning at night. Because that was the type of person she was. She was like, okay, well, I can at least drop him off to his destination. And I guess they were having a talk, according to what he said to the police. And she was just wanting to end things. And that's when he whipped the gun out. And he told detectives that he whipped the gun out to intimidate her, to scare her. But by me knowing his personality, I know he was like, well, I'm about to kill, like threatening her, like trying to scare her, hype her up. Because he get off on fear or like feeling like he's a big, bad, tough guy. My mom's only like 5'3", 5'4", and he's like 6'4". So he get off on intimidation. So I just know it was horrific, like in that car. I know his personality. And the things that made me realize he was a cold-blooded killer is when she was nice enough to drop you off to your brother's house. Now, this is what happened. She was calling his mom all day. She was calling his sister all day. Because my mom likes to do things in a peaceful way. Like, she don't like to get others involved, but she don't have to. Because it sounds like a song that's been played a million times. So people are they're more desensitized to your situation. And you don't want to really reach out for help because people are judgmental and they just say, oh, yeah, they just one of those things. They're going to get back together or something like that. So that's why a lot of times victims don't verbalize or talk about it as much. They want to handle it on their own in a way. So she was calling his mom and calling his sister and was saying, can y'all please come get Roderick? He is acting crazy. Oh, I'm sorry. He was acting crazy. He's not acting right. I'm going to end up calling the police on him. His sister was like, no, don't call police on him. Just drop him off to his brother's house. Don't do all that. Just drop him off. So my mom took her advice. And when she went to go drop him off, that's when he went to go grab the gun. Like, he grabbed the gun. He had it hidden in the kitchen cabinet. Literally in the kitchen cabinet. And my mom was dropping him off. And as they turned the corner, that's when he whipped the gun out and was scaring her. Like, I'm about to kill you, bitch. I'm about to kill, like, in your life. She probably, I know my mom. My mom's biggest concern was her kids. My mom would do anything for her kids. Like, if I said, Mom, I need this, she would give it to me right then and there. Or, Mom, I like that shirt you wearing. Let me wear it. She would just take the shirt off and let me wear it. That was just her personality. So I just know she was like, boo, I want kids. He is the type of person like, fuck your kids. Like, that's just his personality. So my mom's in the driver's seat, and she's trying to get out the car. Like, she see him with the gun. He punched her in the eye first. Then I guess she was trying to take her seatbelt off. When she was trying to take her seatbelt off, that's when he shot her in the hip. And I guess my mom was still like in shock, like screaming, trying to get out the car. And that's when he put the gun behind her head and shot her. And he just simply walked to the police station, which was a 45-minute walk. So my mom basically bled out. Even if she was shot in the head, I don't know if it was a possibility of saving. I will never know. But he walked to the police station and was like, I just killed my girlfriend. You can find her body on Osmond. She's hanging out the truck, just like that. Like, no sympathy and remorse. And he literally just turned himself in because he didn't want to deal with the consequences or the outside world. He didn't care anymore. He know if he just would have shot her. He shot her one time. My mom was trying to escape. Like, she could have lived. She could have lived with that. He had shot in the hip. Even if she was in a wheelchair or whatever. But he wants to take her life. If he knowing if he shot her in the hip and she like lives, he knowing she might talk to somebody else or like move on. He don't want that. So he knew he did what he know that was irreversible. I've been playing tug of war with this man with my mom for years. He hated me and I hated him. And my mom was really the middleman. Like, she used to try to make me feel bad because he used to make her try to feel bad. He used to be like, I'm dying. I went to the doctor. They said I got Alzheimer's. Like, he'll make up stuff, and he's like, something wrong with my kidneys because I'll be drinking every day. I might not have one. And she'll like come to me like we're running on a car. Like, yeah, you know Roger's sick. I'm like, okay. Like, he will play on her emotion and her empath because of her spirit, and he'll say things like, you know how I was abused as a child. I ain't got nowhere to go. You the only one that know me. You know my heart. I love you. I'll never meet no one like you. But he played on that a lot. So, yeah.
They talked about playing on your mom. Go back to your mom. Your mom survived COVID-19.
Oh yeah, she almost died in the hospital with that. They literally covered her body head to toe with ice. They had a pastor come out and what's it called? Reprimand, like to tell her Bible verses and have her call her family members
Over
and
her
say
last will and
her
testament.
goodbyes. Like we thought we was gonna lose her. Her temp kept going up. She was like about to go into seizure mode. Like she almost literally died in the hospital. And she said, you know what? She told me this herself on her own mouth. She said, you know what? After this, God gave me a second chance. I beat breast cancer. I had ovarian cancer. And I beat that. I beat it. And then I had the coronavirus. And then I beat that. God was giving me a chance. He's gotta go. I said, Mom, I was trying to show my mom tough love. I said, as long as he's in your life, nothing good is gonna come to you. I said nothing good is going to come to you. Like that's why you keep getting sick. That's why all these things are happening to you because he's just a dark, negative spirit in your household. You're not even like that. Your personalities are totally different. You dress business casual all the time. You're always happy and say hello to everyone you walk by. And his demeanor is different, dark. He dressed like a bum, and it just y'all personalities are completely different. And she said, "You know what, Zara, you're right." So my mom was changing everything. Her personality, her attitude. She started with her hair in a big old afro and natural. And she was like, I'm taking my life back. I want to know what it feels like to be happy. I want to know what it feels like to be loved and go to the movies or bring my spouse around my family and nobody feels any type of way about him. She said, I'm ready for that. I said, are you really? I'm ready for you to be ready for that. Because we went through this 1,000 times. She said, I'm so ready for that. So when he would call her, like when he used to be out drunk or at somebody else's house, my mom used to run and go get him. Like he'd be like, Shanae, come pick me up. Come get me. And I dead smack in the middle of the night. My mom would be battling cancer, breast cancer, sick as a dog, but he'll call her like, come get me. And she'll jump up in the car and go get him at his will. But that came to an end. That ceased. She wasn't, oh, I'm sorry. She wasn't being so like, okay, here I come. She stopped picking them up. Like she stopped doing things like that. She started being more mouthy, like, just leave. Like literally like 5 days. It's like a countdown to my mom death. Days just the countdown to my mom death was just getting worse. He knew that she wanted change. Like he noticed that my mom was getting her whole house remodeled. Like she was getting her room redone. She changed the color. She made it blue. She was trying to get my daughter a room that my old room I used to stay in. Like she said, I want to redo my whole house. I want to make it a sanctuary for you guys. Like I want to change things, and then Roger can be out, and I can finally have my grandbaby here. Cause I told my mom, my daughter is not allowed at her house if he's there. I don't trust him. I said, Mom, if you want to see your grandbaby, you got to come here. My mom was at my house every single day. She never missed a beat. Hours at a time, always at my house, always there. So I said, Mom, she's like, oh, I didn't know. Actually, the day before she died, April 23rd, it's not even the day because she died later on that night. She was like, I can't please my poo-poo spend the night with me tonight, please. Like she was begging me, and I told her no, which kind of hurts my feelings, but it probably was the best decision because that's the night he killed her. She was just saying, no, that's why I can't wait to get him out of my house. Trust me, Zara, I got a plan. Watch this. And that's the last thing it said to me, watch this. And it just hurts my feelings because if I would have known, I would have told her to do it in secrecy. Like a lot of times women that's being abused, they like to voice out to their abuser, like, I'm leaving, I'm done. That's their way of getting their voice and their power back. Like they feel good, like, yeah, I told him I'm done with him. Sometimes that's not the way to go. You do need an action plan. I heard a lot of women have packed up and leave, but the thing is, oh,
There she go. Go ahead. We got you.
can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Oh,
We got you.
We can hear you.
here. Okay, I can't hear you guys, but someone just called me. So I'm gonna have
We got
to
you.
come back in or something. I can't hear no one. I'm sorry. Hello?
We can hear you.
Nobody. Come
We
here,
can hear
guys.
you. Okay.
Shut up.
For all of you who are tuning in, and if you want to love up on her, we have a phone line where you can call in and you can talk to her. And her name is Zaria, and she's telling her story. of her mother. And for all of you who have seen, she's expressing what happened with her mom, the mere fact that her mom beat breast cancer, her mom beat COVID-19. But the one thing that she didn't think she was going to have to worry about beating was the fact that her lover of 18 years decided that if he wasn't going to have her, no one was. Okay, you want to continue, Zaria?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I had technical difficulties.
That's all right.
I'm trying to see where I was at.
You were saying that the fact that you felt bad because she was supposed to you were going to let your child go spend the night that night.
Oh yeah. My daughter Zayla was gonna spend the night. She loved my baby so much. She felt like my baby saved her life. Like the day, I know this might be TMI, but when I went to the doctors, like my first time I was pregnant, I told my mom first, and she went to all my appointments with me, literally every single one. And they were like, "You conceived her November 27th," and my mom was like, "Wow, that's the day I found out I had breast cancer. That's the day they told me my diagnosis with cancer." Then my baby was supposed to be born August 25th. But she was being 24th. But she was being stubborn and she didn't be born till September 4th. My mom had to get surgery September 2nd because they had to do surgery on her breasts to like add implants because they have cut both her breasts off. And she didn't go because she was staying at the hospital with me for them 3 days till I have my baby. And then when she finally did go up to her appointment, they found out that she had ovarian cancer. Like she had cancer in her ovaries. And it was like, we're so glad we didn't open you up for surgery because we didn't want that to spread. Thank God that you missed that surgical
Wow.
Like, so my mom was like, this baby saved my life. And she said, I'm going to change for her and I'm going to change for you. She said, my mom felt kind of guilty because I always told her he ruined my childhood. I always told her that. And she said, I'm sorry, baby. That's why I'm going to make it up to Zayla. So she was in love with my daughter. And that was really the push, to be honest. And I would try to threaten her, like, if you keep talking to him, you're not going to see her no more. Or I just did all my power on my cook. I just wanted her to stop so bad. And I even said some hurtful things to my mom before. I told her. Cause it's like no matter what I said, it wasn't getting through her like good enough as I wanted to. I even told her, I said, Mom, he's gonna kill you one day, and I won't even be surprised when the day it happens. Like I literally said it like 2 weeks or a week before she died, and that hurts my feelings. I said I won't be surprised. I won't even cry. I'll know it's coming. And I was lying my ass off, but I was trying to like tell I don't know how to explain it. She said that's not going to happen because he's going to be gone. Right? I keep telling you, watch, I got a plan. I've been calling his mom and calling his sister. I said, Mom, who are they? He's a grown man. He don't have to answer to nobody. Like, they're not going to come swoop him up and take him anywhere. Like, sorry.
Well, Angie, can you help her with that part? Because, it's a lot of times that in anger, we believe that if we want to help them so bad, we want to make that difference and make them feel where we at. So what we do is we'll say something to say, like not wanting to say to manipulate the situation, but you're thinking you're helping them push the situation. Like she loved the baby. So since she loved the baby, you would think, okay, I'm gonna tell her she loved the baby. Maybe now she'll do it. Or if I tell her that she hurt my feelings, maybe she'll do it. That was natural for you. That was a natural reaction. Can you help her with that, Angie?
I'm gonna try. See, the thing is, I don't want you to think, one, you don't take fault for what you said. You can regret it, but you were acting out of your passion and your love and your concern for your mom. So you weren't saying it in a very, if you really think about it, in a very mean and malicious way. You were desperately seeking change for your mom. So you resorted back to words. But in your heart, it really came from a good place. Because you just wanted your mom to be happy, and you wanted your mom, and you wanted your mom for your daughter. So let's just take that off the table, because you didn't say it maliciously. You try to be as forceful as you could to get a result. But in your heart of heart, it really came out of love and passion and desperation for change for your mom. Your mom loved you and she loved her daughter, but there was a monkey on her back that she had to maneuver. And it only could be removed by her and God. And she was doing it the best way that she knew how. So your mom probably had a lot of guilt because she saw that the position that she was in was hurting her family and keeping her away from her grandbaby. But yet, this stronger force from this bully, this manipulator, this liar, this narcissist was weighing her down. She had 18 years of this personality in her life. So that became a routine for her, just like getting up in the morning and getting coffee. That's a routine. So him for 18 years became a fixture in your mom's life. So she had to detox from that 18 years in order to get to the place where you needed her to be. But she was trying to keep her toxic relationship away from you all as her children, but it's harder than we think because you see that, right? So she accepted everything you said. And I guarantee you, if we had a chance to talk to her, she would never believe, or she never believed that it was from a hard place.
Yeah.
It was just a cry of desperation, a baby
You
crying
know
for my
what?
mommy.
After I told her that, we went to Walmart together, and I was like, Mom, I'm sorry for all the things I said to you. I just love you so much. And I started crying. Like, this literally happened. Like, I said that, like, the day before. Then the next day, I was like, Mom, can you come Walmart with me? Like, she's like, okay, here I come. Like, it was after I said that, and I was talking, and I was like, Mom, I'm sorry about that stuff I said to you and the things I be saying. I just love you so much. And she said, I know, baby. I just know you want me to do better, and I'm going to do better by showing you. She's, I know you be saying out of love, you want me to do better.
That's my
And that
point.
was my piece right there.
Because a mother loves, when a mother loves their children, no matter what their children do, a mother's love never stops. You can get frustrated, you can get tired. You ask God why, your heart is broken, you are depleted as to a way to help them. But when you hear that voice, mommy, it changes the whole trajectory of what we feel and see about you. That's why your mother went to Walmart with you. She knew the place in which you were coming. It's a hard thing for a mother to carry a weight that's affecting her children. I know that because the weight I carry being in this relationship, I have boys. And not only did I have boys, I have a brother with special needs that I was taking care of, and I still do. So that was an effect on him. But like you, when your boys, and you're a woman, but when your boys become into young men, then you really open your eyes and see, I got to change this because my children may get hurt in this situation. So once again, a mother takes the weight as your mom getting in a car, taking him to where he needs to go. Because she was a lady. And people don't understand that. You know, you got a lady, you got the hood girls, F you, you get it. But obviously that was your mom. That was your mom. She wanted peace and she wanted it over. So in her processing, let me take him, drop him off, and I'm coming back to regain my family.
And that's something that's a honor, like you said, like that's an honor that mothers carry. Just to share a little bit of my story, my mother was in an abusive relationship with my father for a very long time, and I saw it. So I was torn because here is my father and here's my mother. And there are some things that I remember as the child that neither one of them realized that I held on to because I saw it. I witnessed it. And the day that my mom decided that enough was enough, I remember that day. I think I was like 12 or 13 years old. Bags were packed, sunglasses were on, car was running, and she was like, okay, we going, you know? But for me, again, I was torn because I'm like, I don't want to leave my dad. I want to go with you, Mom, because I know why. But as a child, I see it all. And so fast forward a few years, a lot of years passed, and my mom went into another relationship and got married. They just had an argument. And automatically, me and my brother went into protective mode. Like, no, this is not going to happen. And so, Zaria, I remember a part of our conversation was you feeling like you had to protect your mom. And a part of you saying, oh, those threats, you can't see your granddaughter if you stay, you can't do this, you know, these guidelines that you're setting to try to help her come out of it was you being in protection mode for your mom. And it's okay for a child, it's natural for us to go up to bat for our parents. And it's a very, like I said, you know, it's a difficult thing to watch your parents go through. It's a very difficult thing. And even as an adult, some of those things, every once in a while, one of those memories would pop up and I'd be like, whoa. And I'm 45 years old. You're talking over 30 years of instances, but it's still a healing that had to happen within me as the child, right? So there's a lot of healing that's going to take place in your life, dealing with what was going on, why it was going on, what you tried to do to, you know, to intercept and to protect your mom from what was happening. And now dealing with or healing in, you know, your mom's, her being absent from the body, but being present with God, but knowing that she's still with you. Her spirit is all in you. You know, when you talk about her, it's like, it's so powerful. Like just to hearing you talk, and like, we didn't meet your mom. We don't know your mom, but we know that she poured into you. And all of what she poured into you, when you talk about her, we see that here in you right now. And then that's just going to be generational and legacy, because now you're doing the same thing with your daughter. And now being able to teach your daughter, you knowing what you won't accept, and you teaching your daughter what not to accept, because you saw it. And like for me, because I saw what happened in my mom's relationship, I always said to myself, the moment I'm in a relationship and it becomes abusive, I have to go, because I know what it looks like. There's a difference between when you don't know what it looks like and it's candy coated and covered. That's one thing. But if it's visible and just like in your face, you know, there's a certain life lesson in what God allows when we see things from, you know, those experiences. Man, I want her to come back. This is so, there's healing in this. There are a lot of people that are coming on to my live that are watching. I have one young lady who's a friend of mine. Her name is Deborah. She's sending love and prayers. She said that there are several kinds of abuse that are under the umbrella of domestic violence. Your journey is yours, and it's okay to take your time and walk into your freeness of yourself. We as spiritual sisters need one another, and I'm one of them. I'm victorious of my situation as well. We as sisters are victorious together. So you coming on and you voicing your truth, your mother's truth, these are examples of people who are watching and listening to now our stories. And they have to be told, they have to be expressed. And yes, we will be emotional. No, it won't always feel good, like we said. But again, I encourage you. I encourage you to just lean on God, lean on God, lean on God, lean on God.
That's all you can do.
And
And
a lot of people they try to figure out how to get through. There is no one way to get through. There is no one way to heal. And they try to figure it out and they try to do it by themselves. But just know that God is there to talk to. He's there to talk to. He's there to scream at. He's there to, like, he hears it all, knows it all. And he's wrapping his arms around you. This conversation is God wrapping his arms around you. It's a part of it. One of the ways that he does it.
And that's true, because, you know, somebody that's listening may now say, you know what, that's what I was in. And I didn't even realize it. I didn't know that that's what I was dealing with. Just like when we had the conversation with you, you even made the acknowledgement of saying it almost happened to you. But you remember what your mom went through and you was like, oh no, we're not doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, when I look back, and ladies, go back with me for a minute. It used to be a time when we had to deal with it. We didn't say nothing. You didn't say nothing. Nobody didn't ask. You didn't tell. Instead, they told you, be quiet. Here goes some foundation. We'll take care of the kids. You just keep tending to him. We all know the story. It was her life. She put it in film. Ike and Tina. Her own mother was the one who told her to stay. And even when she ran, she was the one who told them where to find her. And then we have other stories where another young lady that was going to come on the show that she was dealing with, and she even told me, by hearing that you were coming, she said, tell my story for me, because she didn't want to reopen that wound. She was not strong enough. She was strong enough, but she didn't want to relive the moment. But she wanted me to let you know. And she did it with 5 kids. She did it with 5 kids, and nobody knew what she was going to the point that even she wanted to kill herself and take the kids with her so that they would not be in danger. So, you know, this is an unpacking situation, but the packing of it is, you don't have to be quiet no more. You don't have to subject yourself to getting makeup, to covering it up anymore. And yes, you can love them enough to walk away. But if you can't, we still understand, because it's the love that's in your heart that they're using as strings to change and to control. And we understand that. And we love you still. But just know, when you're ready to come out, we ready. We right here with you.
What I want to interject as well. There are a lot of men who are in abusive relationships as well.
That is true.
And we don't always talk about that, but that same message goes out to the men. They suffer verbal abuse. They suffer physical abuse, threats, like all kinds of stuff. And it's even more difficult for them to speak up and speak out.
And you know why?
Men. And it's like, how do you as a man, how do you allow this woman to, you know, usurp your authority as a man or your manhood or whatever?
And manipulate.
It's the thing that people go through. And also, when people get in those types of relationships, there's always this need of feeling like you can nurture that person or help to change that person, or there's a need that you feel like that person is meeting in your life, even if it's for a certain amount of time. There's always that something there that's making you stick to it, even when you see it. But after a while, you get tired of being tired. You get sick and tired of being sick and tired. And then you get to the point where enough is enough.
Well, that's what she's saying. What are you saying? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, we can't hear you. It's all right. We're gonna get through this. Because we being blessed. People are being blessed by this.
But do understand, regardless, while she's there, I need to make sure that everyone understands. The sister chat is a bunch of sisters that are coming around chatting. Yes, we are. But don't you think that this ain't for men too? Because the thing about that is, while us sisters are chatting and while we're fixing our crowns and we're adjusting our situations and saying it's okay to not be okay, and if it's not, and if it is okay and it doesn't fit you, then drop it on somebody, because you never know who you might know that it does need or fit to, even if it's a man. So if you know some men that are listening, let them know they can come and listen to the sister chat, because then maybe you'll understand why we are the way we are, and you can learn how to love us better as a fact of knowing who we are. But Zaria, go ahead, tell us your experience, because you said you started to find yourself falling for that same situation. Oh, lost you again, boo. Still can't hear you. All right, so this is what I might try to do. I don't know if she can hear me. Call the phone line. Oh, wait a minute. I think she found it. There she go. Did she find it?
Yeah, I got kicked out again.
Zaria? Not yet. Call in on the phone line. Call the phone line. We're going to call Zaria, and we're going to tell her to call in on the phone line.
Okay.
Because it appears that it may be the distance of where she is. She's experiencing technical issues, and it may be because of the rain. But yes, Angie, we were talking about men as well as women being abused. And somebody gonna get mad at me. Somebody gonna get mad at me. Some of y'all abusing y'all men with, y'all know what I'm going to say. You can't see your kid, because if I can't have you, they can't. And the other big one, if you don't take me back, I'm taking you for child support. That is abuse, ladies. But go ahead, Angie. I'm going to call Zaria and see if we can get her to come on the phone line. But go ahead, Angie.
But you know what? I think men can stop that to that point if they put themselves through child support. You know you have a child. You know the beast you're dealing with. Then go ahead and take the initiative and put yourself in child support. That'll shut all that down. But then there's a lot of men that are in domestic violence situations. They're the most silent people they are because of their pride, right? And they don't tell anybody.
I just said that, yeah.
You know, but if you look at the studies, a lot of the abusers, the women that are abusers, are reenacting what they seen, or reenacting their mothers being loud, being bossy, dealing with docile men with no backbone, men that are just, people pleasers, that don't have enough, they're very insecure. They don't think enough about themselves. You look at them, they probably came from a father who was the same way, let the mother run over top of them, disrespect them, dismantle them as a man. So they're repeating that same cycle. But it's only when you are sick and tired, and being sick and tired doesn't mean you can very easily run away. That doesn't mean that. You have to have a plan, but not only have a plan, you have to have support.
Right.
When I left, I kept my secret for 7 years. But when I left a 5-bedroom house, 3 full bathrooms, and businesses. I left with the clothes on my back and 3 pair of underwear. That's when I realized that God made me to be the head and not the tail, to be above and not beneath. I realized that this is not love in no way that I've ever seen it. You cannot call this love when a person who's supposed to protect you and love you and guard you as a man the attributes of a man, right? And they're doing the total opposite of that. They want to kill you physically and spiritually. They want you to live in constant fear. What kind of love is that? They want to control everything. Something is wrong with them. And we take the results of their dysfunction. But it's a process. It's not easy to leave. But baby, when you leave, you leave.
Angie, you know what? I work with kids
Uh-huh.
in the school system. And I noticed some of those behaviors in our children,
Mm-hmm.
where this is what I want, how I want it. If you don't do it the way I want it, there's a problem. And
Mm-hmm.
they're aggressive. And a lot of that is learned behavior.
Yep.
A lot of that is abuse.
Mm-hmm.
So Zaria's not on right now, but when she was sharing a story, his family knew who he was. And a
Wow.
lot of times people know, you know your family. You know who these people are. But they brushed it off. They didn't want to have anything to do. When somebody's family doesn't want to have anything to do with them and their behaviors, that means they have a history of a certain
Exactly.
lifestyle and behaviors.
It's just true. But there's no consequence.
Exactly.
See, if he would have got checked as a young dude doing that, I guarantee he would have been different.
Well, actually, no, he wasn't. So he was checked. The day that Zaria wrote that poem, I'm gonna try to see if I can get that to come up so that we can hear that. What happened was Zaria was in the closet while her mom was being fought and everything. And as a result, after that, the brothers went and beat him up.
Mm.
And the brothers were the one who kept changing the locks and everything and trying to fix it. And to the point where they was like, we did everything that we could do to stop this from happening. And almost to the fact that one of the uncles felt bad because he felt like, he didn't do enough. But what got me was the sister told him, drop him off, knowing that he was beating her up, causing pain to her. And my question was, how did she feel that night when she realized that she was the reason that she got killed? Because she was the one who told her, drop him off. It was like she signed the death certificate.
Right, but you know what I mean by check? As a kid, he wasn't checked.
Right.
Oh, yes, definitely.
That behavior, it just intensified over the years, and they do it so often. People do push him aside. They were happy that Zari's mom had him. They was happy because they didn't have to deal with him.
Mm-hmm. They even offered to pay his half of the rent because he didn't have my mom want anything.
See what I'm saying?
She was like, can he stay with you? Can he live with you guys? Because he's terrorizing my kids. He's not helping with anything. And she was like, oh, we'll give you half of his rent. They ignored all the other things that she was saying. It was like, we'll just pay your half of the rent so you won't have to struggle with the bills by yourself.
See, that's
that.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. They knew, they were well aware of his behavior 18 years before your mother met him. They were well aware of that. But so they wouldn't have to deal with it. They have diminished themselves to say, you keep him, you deal with it, but we're going to give you a bonus. We're going to pay you half of the rent.
But then
that old adage, like hurt people hurt people.
But
absolutely.
But two things, and I'm gonna let Zaria answer this. Not only did hurt people, but the mother had to go to the mother. She went to Shanae's mother and told her, my son killed you.
What?
She was the one who went to Shanae's mom and said, my son killed your daughter. What was that? And this is the part that Zaria is going to tell you. She was the abuser of the family. The mother was.
I'm speechless right now.
Zaria, tell her about how you said that he was one was saying that his mother was the one that was abusing him to cause him to be the way he was, right?
Yes, that's true. She used to abuse him and stuff like that, so he ended up moving with his dad that kind of babied him and stuff like that. Like, he didn't have to worry about a dime. All he had to worry about was getting $3 for some beer or things like that. But that night it happened. Roger walked to the police station. You know how they give you one phone call, and he called his mom. Was like, "Well, I killed Shanae," and I guess she said, "Oh my God!" And she drove from Detroit, which is like 32, 34 minutes from Pontiac. And this is like at 3, 4 in the morning. This is at 4 something in the morning now. Banging and ringing my grandma's doorbell like crazy, like a maniac. Banging, do, 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 ringing her doorbell. So my aunt answered the door because my aunt been staying with my grandma, taking care of my grandmother's mother, which is my great grandma, because she just had coronavirus. So she been over there taking care of her because she beat it, but she been taking care of her because she got weak ever since that. So she just so happened to open the door, and my aunt told me she thought it was me because I just moved to my apartment. And I don't have a washing machine, so I'll go over there like, hey, I gotta wash something real quick. But she said when she opened the door, she seen a tall, skinny woman with a mask on, like you just only saw her eyes. And she was like, who are you? And then she was like, I'm Grace, I'm Roger's mom. I got something to tell you. I'm so sorry. My auntie, she felt like she automatically knew what she was about to say. She was like, Roger just killed Shanae. Like
Oh
she
my
just
God.
felt like blurted out. Roger just killed your sister. And my aunt was like, you want me to go upstairs to my mom? She got enough stuff going on to tell her this? You want me to tell my mother this?
Oh my God.
So I guess she left, and my aunt, she was just taken back. She sat on the couch for a while. I was like, oh my God, how am I gonna tell my mom that? She was crying. She called my uncle and stuff like that, well, which is her uncle. And she wanted somebody else to tell her because she couldn't bear telling my grandma at first. And nobody would answer the phone, she said. Nobody would answer the phone at that time. So she said she went upstairs and was like, Mom, I gotta tell you something. Oh no, actually, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna take it back a little bit. She said Roger killed Shanae and she is on Osmond. Like her body is laying on Osmond.
Oh my God.
So I'm about to get emotional a little bit.
It's
So
okay,
my
baby.
aunt, my grandma, my aunt was like, Roger killed Shanae and she's on Osmond right now. And my grandma was out her sleep. Like she was confused. Like she just woke up like, wait, what? And she just immediately started putting on clothes like she was confused. And they went to the scene, and they said when they got there, she was hanging out the car, and like the EMTs was putting her down, like she had her seatbelt on, just hanging out, and they had a blanket over her and stuff like that. And my grandma said she couldn't bear to see it, because my grandma always told my mom too, like he's gonna end up killing one of your kids, or he's gonna kill you. So then after that, they went to go tell me. It was like 5 in the morning at this point, and I heard a bunch of banging on my door. I was in a nice slumber. Like I was just asleep with my baby, and my boyfriend was on the bed, and his phone was ringing, my phone was ringing at the same time, like simultaneously ringing back to back, back to back, and I heard banging on my door. So I said, "Go answer the door. What was that?" And then I heard my family. I heard my grandma downstairs. She's like, "Where's the baby? Where's the baby?" So I wake up and I'm carrying my baby going downstairs. Like, what's going on? Why everybody's here? It's like 5 in the morning. Like, what's going on? And everybody had tears in their eyes. And I'm like, did something happen to great grandma? Because usually, like, if it's an emergency, everybody will come. But I noticed my mom was the only person who wasn't there. And I saw my other aunt, my aunt Tiffany. She usually always tell us the news about things, and she's the one who told me my dog died. Like she's just that person that's the how relationship I have with my aunt Tiffany. So she was like, Zara, she grabbed my shoulders, and I'm like, okay. She's like, nobody would tell me. I kept asking like, what's going on? Everybody cannot talk for some reason. Like nobody can even spill out words. I'm looking at everybody. I'm panicking. I'm like, what happened? I said, did somebody die? And I think once somebody was not in their head, yes, or something like that. And I was like, did Roger kill my fucking mom? Like, I threw it out there. I didn't want to hear a yes. And then my aunt said yes. She was shaking her head. Her hands on my shoulder. She's shaking her head. I felt like I was in a different world. Like I was trapped into a different zone. Like my worst fear. Like I feel like I was so helpless. Nothing I can do. Like something I tried to prevent my whole life. It was nothing I can do. Like I felt like it was a lot. Everybody was crazy. That's okay. So what happened to her? She's on life support right now, right? She's at the hospital. They said no, she is dead. Like it just baffled me so bad. I literally, my grandma grabbed my baby and I literally ran outside. I was running circles. I was pulling the grass from the ground. I was on my knees. I was crying like, no, 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 no. I was just screaming no, 'cause I was trying to block out that thought, because my worst fear was happening. I was just trying to block out the thought. Then I seen the police came, and it was 2 detectives. And I'm like, what? They say, yeah, we usually hate to give this kind of news. Like, it was like getting so real. I'm like, who the hell are these people talking? They said, we hate to give this, we hate to be the type to always give this kind of news. Like, it was just like another thing that happened or something like that. And they were like, I was like, where's my mom? Is she at the hospital right now? They said, no, the morgue is about to pick her up. She's on, she's laying on Osmond. They're like, do you want to go see? I'm like, I was screaming. I couldn't see. I wear glasses. I was trying to get in my car, then I gave up. Like, I was just, people, it was then different family members popping up at my house. Like, it literally within the span of 5 minutes of me finding out what's going on. I seen different cars pull up, and people say, I'm so sorry. I'm like, what the? I felt like I was in a matrix, like in a different world. I was so, that day was so powerful. It was just a blur. It was my worst fear happened. And I kept saying, I knew he was gonna do this. I knew. I just kept screaming. And I probably woke the whole apartment complex. I would just scream. It was just, if I yell loud enough, it didn't happen or block it out. Like, I was just going through it. Like, this man always being evil towards me. Like, even since I was a little girl, 3 years old, he used to always like mistreat me and try to show favoritism. Like, I can be hungry, he'll get his, like, say my mom was at work and I'm at home with him and the other kids, he'll get them something to eat and not me. And so I had to call my grandma, like, Roger didn't give me nothing to eat, and they would just come give me something to eat, or they would just come get me stuff, just stuff like that. So, and then my mom would like have an argument with him, like, why don't you treat my baby like that, blah, like, arguing with him. He like, man, whatever, she ain't say she was hungry, she ain't, like, it just just lies. Then I'm sorry, I'm jumping from subject to subject. I'm kind of all over the place right now.
You're fine. You're fine.
His friend, that's someone that Roger hung out with every single day. His literally best friend, his drinking buddy. They used to be drunk and hang out with each other. He called me the other day, and he was like, I used to talk to him, and he used to come back and tell me all the things he used to say and do to you. I never understood why he did that. I was like, why are you treating that girl like that? And I was like, what did he say? He said he remembered you being in kindergarten, and he kept calling you Fatty McFat, kept calling you fat. And then you was in the bathroom mirror wrapping your stomach up with duct tape, crying, looking in the mirror. And he was like, he was laughing about like, yeah, I got that fat bitch to tape up for something. Mind you, I'm in kindergarten, 5 or 6 years old, first grade kindergarten, whatever. He got off on that. And I literally forgot that happened, but it triggered me and made me remember. I remember that exact day that it happened, because I blocked out a lot of things. And he was like, I always told her, why don't you, I asked him, why don't you like Zaria? And he said that she talks too much, which I did. Anything he did in front of me or said, I ran and told my grandparents. I talked about it. I told everybody. And one time I remember like being 7 years old, and he tried to get physical with my mom. Like, he was trying, like, choking her, and I stepped in the middle, and I was just hitting him and stuff like that, like trying to get him off my mom. And he didn't do nothing. He's like, you better get your daughter. You better get your daughter. Sure, it's okay, Zara, we about to go. We had to leave her own space. He never paid a dime in rent or utility. It's not a bill in his name ever in his 47 years on earth. No bill is in his name. So I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just I'm sorry.
It's okay. Tell your story, baby. Tell it.
You're not rambling. You're telling the story. You're fine. You're fine. And it's like I told, and if you just need a moment to bring yourself back down, you're good. You're not rambling. You're good. You're good.
Thank you. That's the moment I moved in with my grandma and my grandparents. But I still see my mom every single day. So I don't know if he stopped hitting her or what, but she didn't tell me because she was trying to protect me from stuff. I'd be like, I'll go kill him right now. Like, I used to say this as a little girl, like 8 years old. I said, I'll kill him myself. I'll do this. I'll do that. Like, my mom was like, no, he's going to leave. He's going to move. And this been going on for years. Like, he's going to move. He's going to leave. He always was going to leave. That's always been a thing. She even voiced it in front of me. Like, Roger, you should just go. Just go to your daddy's house or something. Girl, I ain't going no fucking where. Like, just, He's like, I want to be here with my kids. Even though he never did anything for his kids, he used to use that as a clutch a lot. And even though he terrorized them as well. Like, it's so many instances, like, and I'm gonna kind of fast forward to, like, close to the present. He will come home drunk and try to fight my little brother. My little brother is only 15, or when he was 14 as well. My little brother's only 14, 15, and my little brother be playing on his game, and he'll come in the room, open his door while he's drunk, like, you think you tough? Fight me, motherfucker, just fight me, like, just antagonizing him. He's like, I don't want to fight. Like, he has his headset on playing the game. He's like, I don't want to fight you. He's like, fight me, nigga, fight. Like, he felt intimidated by his own son. Like, my little brother's 6'2", but he's only 15. He still has the mind of a 15, 14-year-old kid. And he just started to challenge and bully everybody. Like, even 3 days before my mom died, before he murdered her, my sister and brother said that she was trying to push him out the door of the house, like pushing him, like, please leave my house, like pushing him. And where I'm from, people got this idea, like, don't tell police stuff, don't involve police and stuff like that, handle it on your own. Why you gotta get, that's kind of a lot of mentality that a lot of black people have too as well. So she was pushing, she's like, please leave my house, just leave my house. She was pushing and kicking, like, leave my house, get out the door, leave. And he said, I'm not going nowhere, bitch. And he's like, I don't know why you acting like that. And he told my brothers and sisters, since she want to put her hands on me trying to make me leave, I got some for her ass. He said that 3 days before he killed her. Then the second 2 days before her death, him and my mom been sleeping separately for months. Like, he been literally sleeping on a carpet downstairs in the living room, and my mom sleeps in her room. I guess he went upstairs into her room. He said it's in front of kids. This is what my brothers and sisters telling me. That he came in the room was like, so you telling me you're not gonna give me no pussy? Like, they were arguing. He wanted to, like, have sex with her, and she didn't want to have sex with him. He said, so you telling me you're not gonna give me no pussy? You're not gonna give me no pussy? Blah blah blah. And let's, like, tussling with her and arguing with her and stuff like that. And he was saying this right in front of, like, my siblings. Like, they said he basically was trying to rape her. Like, my mom didn't tell me these things because she know I would react, and I'm a reactor. Like, that's the thing. A lot of times they be scared of reaction. They want to do stuff because they got so much chaos going on already. They don't be wanting to add to more chaos. Like, they be trying to do stuff at a smooth, steady rate or something like that. Then, I'm sorry, y'all. It's just so much.
It's okay, and it's a lot because there's this 18-year timeline of just experience. And so to try to re-explain and to unearth all of those things all over again, that's just human nature. That's what we do. It is only what you feel compelled to share. You know, and just remember that this is your time. This is your platform. However you want to share, whatever you want to share, if it's too much to share, whatever it is, it's okay. This is your time.
And I also think I remember my little sisters telling me that my mom was sitting on her bed minding her business, and he came up the stairs and he got flicking her nose, like hitting her face like this, like smacking her, like playing, like being playful but taunting playful. And she was like, "Leave me alone, stop! I don't like that." He was like, "No, I'm gonna keep doing it because you don't like it." So then she went in my little sister's room and sat on her bed. And my sister said later on, like a couple of seconds later, he came behind her and grabbed her by the neck and yanked her out my sister's room. And these are things that my sister not my sister, but my mom didn't mention to me. Like, she would just tell me, oh yeah, we had an argument. Like, she would never go in depth or said what really happened. Like, a lot of victims minimize their situation because they kind of feel embarrassed that they were going through that. So,
yeah. Wow, you know, like, have you, where, you know, the part that held a tenure for me when it came to you was like a whole lot of different things. And the other situation that came up was, like you said, the cops didn't do anything. And I was told that at once upon a time, that was correct. The cops would side with the men and they would not tell you, or they would not remove you from the home when it was reported that there was an issue. Auntie Ro, do you I called you Aunt Ro. Oh, that's because you look so much like her Aunt Angie. And I feel like she's here with us right now.
Yes.
Because this was her passion and this is what she wanted to do before she passed. And I'll tell y'all a little bit more about that in a few. There was a law, right, Aunt Angie? And by being in that field, there was a law that covered them from not having to do that, but then later on protected women in those instances.
It was because they didn't believe it was true. That men are the head of the house. They're not doing that. She's just being emotional. And they protected the men forever until, there were some folks who fought. And now domestic violence is one of the highest call rates I know in Philadelphia since the law has been changed. We have so many domestic violence calls, but where the ball gets dropped, if the police gets involved and then the courts get involved, usually the woman does not carry it out. So then they repeat that same cycle over and over again. I don't want him to go to jail. I don't want them to hurt him. Oh, maybe if I'd have shut up. Oh, he really didn't mean it. No, he really meant what he did.
Mm-hmm.
And if he didn't mean it, then he needs to go get some help. But the forces that can protect us sometimes they drop the ball too. We don't carry it out.
I'm trying to find the information because I had it locked and low, but then we had the situation that happened with technically, I believe they called it the Act 130. Am I saying it right? Where you don't have to have the evidence.
That's right.
Before, so that law came like in the 80s.
Yes.
Because prior to, yeah. Go ahead. What you saying?
And you can get emergency protection order. They have courts now that run, and people in their own city don't even know it. They have domestic violence courts. You can get emergency protection order, emergency child protection order as well, to protect you from your abuser.
Wow.
But we don't know. And if we do know, we don't follow through.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a hard situation to be in.
And it is, because I remember doing the whole, what do you call it? Going down to the roundhouse and getting the order.
Mm-hmm.
And then when time came, he would find a way to make it up to me. I remember when I had him served, I was in the car and I had him served. And he was like, "Why are you doing this to me?" And the cops were like, "You can talk to her." He's like, "Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me? Wait a minute. I could talk to her. We could talk. Me and her talk." And the other cop was in the car with me. He was like, "Don't get out.
Yep.
Don't get out. Stay right here." And when we got there, the lady was like, "If you don't show up, that's the only way you can drop the charges. Don't show up."
Mm-hmm.
And they was telling me that at the beginning after I filed the paperwork. So I was like, well, why would you tell me to not show up? Because she knew that I had love in my heart for him.
Yep. They go through it every day.
And because she knew that I had love, she was already telling me, "I know right now you're doing the formality of filling out this paperwork, but look, just don't show up."
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't that I was mad. I felt like I needed to. But again, they didn't know why I was dropping the paperwork. They didn't know it was because I was scared to not do anything different.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, we find ourselves in these positions. Unfortunately, we find ourselves in these positions more, more so. And like you said, due to quarantine, I believe that it has caused us to see more of it. Kim, did you have anybody else that was saying anything on your side that we missed?
See.
Quarantine made it worse because now you're isolated.
Mm-hmm.
You have no escape from your abuser. So they can manipulate, control what you eat, what you're not going to eat, everything.
Yeah. So I do have Deborah again. She said, amazingly awesome. Keep pushing, young lady. Of putting loving people in front of you who are a part of your support system. Let your mom shine through you. You're her shining light as well as your own blessings and love.
There she is.
There's so many different situations going on right now, guys. Like I know that we're talking about like a domestic abuse segment, but like recently, my sisters on my dad's side have came out about some sexual abuse, and
Wow.
there's so much things going on with that, and it's just a lot.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Unfortunately, I got a pastor, so it's
So
just a
what
lot.
we do on the sister chat, we typically kind of flow, and there are different topics that come up, but that's a part of it. That's a large part of it,
a very large.
and we're here for people to be able to share, to get help.
You know,
Heard,
it's amazing that you brought that up, because the reason why I fell into the situation that I was in with my kid's father was because as a child, young, entering into the sex realm of life is where it started for me, because I was in a relationship with a young man that I had a crush on. And because I liked him, he's an older guy, he felt the need to use sex to control me.
Mm-hmm.
So when I met my kid's father, being inexperienced, and he was like, "Oh no, you ain't got to do that." I thought he loved me and he was helping train me and telling me, trying to deliver me and save me from what I had already been a part of prior to getting it. And one of the things I had learned about the guy that I was with sexually, he was doing it because he saw his mom and pop doing it. So he saw his father abusing his mom sexually, so he felt as though that's what he's supposed to do to his girlfriend. So he did the same thing, but the only thing about his girlfriends were he only dated girls at a certain age bracket. And once you got out of that age bracket, you no longer was considered a part of the run, the chase.
He was an abuser too, a manipulator as well.
So, you know, and as a result of that, that's where we ran into.
But I think a lot of people, and going back to both male and female, who are victims of sexual abuse and molestation, being children, being young adults, whatever the case is, there are so many different circumstances. And there are some people who feel like, you know, sometimes they're afraid to speak up. They may have been threatened that if they do speak up, their family members might be hurt or they might be hurt. For a child who doesn't know that that's not normal and they're just learning about life, they could think that that's just like, even though they try to process it, they don't know what it is. And within themselves, they try to process. And then if they never speak about it, now you're looking at their potential sexual life experiences from that point forward, if it's never dealt with. So there's a lot that comes with
Yeah.
abuse, and that's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, all wrapped up in one.
It can start at any age.
Yes, it can.
Like
It
what I
can
was
start at
talking
any
about like earlier, when I was 17 years old, I just wanted to really just escape my mom's house. Like I ended up moving back in with my mom, like when I got a little older. And I just always wanted to find an escape. And I met this older guy that had a car. I'm 17 years old. I don't drive. I don't do anything. I met this older guy that took me out. Like he took me on boats. I used to smoke. He used to smoke with me and stuff like that. And I was escaping home from Roger and my mom and all that chaos. And I was rebelling in a way. Then that's how I thought I found someone that was like my knight in shining armor, that ended up becoming the devil and the abuser himself. And he was way older, like a decade older than me. And he would manipulate me and try to isolate me from my family. I used to be gone for days, and he was verbally abusive, and then later on it got kind of physical, and it was just it takes someone that's already a victim, that already been through so much, then to fall into a web or a trap of another means web of other things going on. So it's very easy to do it. It's easy to get into it and not even realize what you are into. Until you're like looking outside your own bubble, like, wow, I can't believe I'm in this right now. And it took me 2 years to 3 years, like, no, I don't really want this. And my mom used to tell me, I only feel like you're blank is because I'm still with Roger and stuff like that. That's why I have to leave him, because I don't like you living like that. Me and my mom switched roles for a minute. And I'm not gonna lie, at first I was like, well, at least you know how I feel. I didn't get off on that, but I was like, well, at least you know how I feel when I be watching you like Roger, and I feel helpless. Cause she hated that relationship so bad. But then I finally got out. And when I got out, it was for myself. It's like, I don't want to be unhappy. I don't have to live like this. But I did it for myself. I'm like, I cannot have another day and be unhappy, having someone that's always snappy and not happy, not change who you are in a way. Like, I want to be free. And I even express that to my mom, like, don't you want to be happy? Like, don't you want to be free? You hate it. You talk about it all the time. You vent to me about this all the time. I'm your daughter. I'm young. Like, I'm soaking all this information up and telling me, and then you live in another way. So it kind of builds frustration too. And yeah.
Well, I really appreciate you unpacking your story. I still can't get over the fact that you knew at 5 to wrap your stomach up with tape. I'm still like, where did you get the intelligence to know if you take some tape and wrap your stomach around, it's gonna pull your stomach in?
I don't know where I got that from. I honestly don't.
When you told me that, I was like, she knew. I'm like, well, I just found out to use Saran wrap, but she was at 5.
Yes.
But that's the thing. A lot of people underestimate what children absorb, what they see, how they think, their mental capacity. And you will be amazed at some of the conversations that children have, even at 5. Some of the things they do at 5 years old. I think it's just the process of elimination. Like, okay, let me try this. Okay, that's not doing good enough. Okay, so what about this? Play around. Like, I remember when I was a kid, I used to want bracelets, and I would take aluminum foil and I would twist it up, and I would put it in my mouth, my top teeth. And I walk around like, where did I get that from? Like, I saw it somewhere, some resemblance to it. So maybe let me try this. And she had access to it. So it's like, okay, let's see what this does. Because if that didn't work, she would have tried something else. Process of elimination. Trial and error.
That's it.
We really, like, people over centuries have really not given children credit enough for what they take in, what they absorb, what they know, and what they say and share. And I think that's so important, especially when I started working with young people. There's so much you miss if you don't take the time just to sit and listen.
Mm-hmm.
Be available.
You know, before I even go and move forward, I know that Zaria was saying that it was a possibility that she may have to leave. I don't know if you still, do you have to still leave, Zaria?
Yeah, I need to talk to my sister. She's having a hard time.
Okay.
Well, let her know.
I would love to do this again with you guys.
Definitely. You know the door is always open. You never know who's knocking on the door. And if you listen to that, you can always come and chat. And even if you don't want to come in the door, we always will open up a floor for you where we can sit and talk.
That's it. I'm
All right,
sending you a
thank you
big
guys so
virtual,
much.
send you a big virtual hug, okay?
All
Mwah,
right,
mwah.
Thank
I
you. We
appreciate
love
it.
you.
But again, remember, you have our numbers. Lock me in. I lock you in. And
I just want to text her and give her my
I
information.
tell Jackie,
And mine's too.
that we missed her. Tell Jackie that she missed the opportunity of hearing me sing happy birthday to her.
I know her birthday my birthday is coming up actually. It's June 19th.
Well, happy early birthday, beautiful.
Yeah.
Happy
Thank you.
birthday to you.
Listen,
Thank
Zara,
you,
before
guys.
you go, I want you to do this if you haven't done it. Get a hobby. Get something where you can dump it out. Because you're taking a
I'm
lot
gonna get back
in.
into writing.
There you go. You gotta get it
I used to
out.
be a poet. I used to love poetry. I used to write poetry all the time.
Well,
That was my
we can
outlet
see
back
that.
then. That's how I made that poem when I was 15.
We can see that. So we really need you to do something for Zaria. Do something for you.
And when you finish writing your book, when you finish writing your numerous letters of poems, we're going to introduce you to a young lady by the name of Sharon and Wanisha. And we're going to let you put your poems.
I'm here too.
And we're going to let you put your poems to a book or even to an album if you must. But we want to make sure that we stay close to you.
Yes.
All right. Thank you guys so much.
Welcome,
All right. Thank you, beautiful.
All right. Bye.
Love you.
That was Wanish. That was Zaria, and she came on the show to talk about her mother, and to hear how the line, so y'all already know church comes in here, so don't even start tripping if y'all say, "Oh, here she go to church." You never notice that somebody's on a Calvary walk until after you hear them. And when I heard her mother's Calvary walk, I was like, wow, it really, it set me still. And I really was like totally taken. And she kept saying, I'm not strong, I'm trying to be strong and do this. And I'm like, you already are strong, because the platforms in which she had already gone to say that I need my mom's story told, because I needed people to understand that you're not alone. You're not alone. And if you are in the situation, understand that you are not alone. You are loved, but you don't have to stay in the situation that you're in. And if you feel like you have to, it's like my mom said, it's not until you get tired.
That's right.
You get enough that you say it's enough. And it doesn't matter how much I push, punch, shake. The final decision is on to you. But this platform is to let you know that when you reach that moment versus child, mother, father, sister, brother, male or female, once you reach that platform where enough is enough, we can help you get to where you need to go to next.
But you know what?
That decision.
That's right. And with that, Shauna, we have to make ourselves available and accessible to them. Because sometimes I may want to get out of something, but if I don't have anywhere that I can land, I'm gonna stay right here because I'm fearful.
Right.
But if we make ourselves, make our presence known, sometimes it helps that person to take that initial step to know they have somewhere to land and they're not by themselves.
That's the biggest thing, and that's why, like, I thank God for this platform, because it lets people know that there are people out there, there are places out there You know, you're not an island by yourself.
Nope.
And I think once people acknowledge their need to get out, that's the beginning.
It is. It is. But with that, we have to, I don't know, prayerful. Let's just be prayerful collectively on this. There is not enough places for them to be housed once they leave. If you're in a domestic violence situation, there's some safe houses, but it's not many, right? And if I'm in it, now you think about a house. If I come with my 4 kids, how many more people are going to be in the house?
That's right.
So we be prayerful how we can be a great help. That's my desire, that I can have a couple safe houses. But I know I can't do this journey by myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that when these women or children, because she's a young girl, instead of running into the arms of a dirty old man, you know, they can run this way, where we can protect them, where we can deposit in them, where we can direct them in a straight and narrow place. We can provide counseling for them and their parents. You know, that's what's needed, and it's not enough of that.
That's because we haven't recognized it, and people won't recognize it. And I want to say this loud, and I want to make sure that everybody hear what I say when I say this, because I understand this feeling, and I understand this feeling so clear. You're not dumb for loving somebody that hurts you. You're not crazy.
Absolutely.
For loving somebody that hurts you.
Mm-hmm.
So don't let nobody lead you to be guilty to not open up your mouth and say so, because they're going to call you crazy, stupid, and that was me. You don't never know what you would do in a situation until you get into it.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
So don't let nobody else's situation cause you to make moves in your life, because your size shoe, no matter how much they say your 8 is their 8, there's something still different about your step that is not going to fit theirs.
That's right.
So don't you dare sit there and believe that, oh, I can't come forth. Oh, I can't leave. Oh, well, nobody will understand. We're here to let you know, yes, we do understand. Yes, you can get help. Yes, you can make it.
That's right.
You have gotten out. You can make it. There are so many testimonies of women. The one young lady, I told her I wouldn't tell her name, but I would tell her story. She had 5 children. 5. And she had to make sure that she had to protect her 5 kids that loved the one that was hurting her.
Mm-hmm.
Going and putting her going to the safe houses, and the safe houses weren't safe. And how she was hurt in these places. And how she had to find a place for her and her kids, staying in a car. Or even at the point where you were so to the point where you felt as though you had nowhere else to turn but to just kill yourself. But luckily, prayerfully, she found herself a home that was in the suburban areas that taught her how to live, how to get better, how to save, how to protect her children, put her children in a school where she could be protected. Because, you know, there's a lot of people that don't know that the school, Belmont, house a lot of homeless children. And they're teased constantly. And that's how bullies are made. That's how these molesters and dominating all this is how all these things are created. But like Aunt Angie said, once we get this area and we start building and creating a smooth and more creative atmosphere, then we know better, we can do better and help them. So that these things won't continuously be a repeated offender.
I agree, because if I know I'm going to land somewhere, then I'm more amped to move.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm not going to move if I don't know where I'm going to land, because everybody's family is not like my family. I went through that for 7 years straight. But I'm the type of person, when I'm done, I'm done. So after those 7 years, I was clear on what I wasn't going to do and what I was going to do. But I could land on my family. So that made my transition. It was hard, but I was able to transition. But if I don't know where I'm gonna land, if my family, is not a family, I'm still stuck.
But do you
No
know,
matter how many are around me, it may not be, my family.
I had that family, but
Hmm.
I was embarrassed,
That too. That's why it took me 7 years.
and I couldn't tell them what happened, and I couldn't tell them what was being done. So I fought it by myself.
Hmm.
And like we said earlier, just because they didn't punch you in your face or they didn't break your bones, or what was the burning house, they didn't burn up your bed with you in it, doesn't mean you wasn't a part of some type of. And guess what? Everybody has been affected by it. No one has really been exempt from it, because we've had some type of connection with it at some angle of it, if not just a piece. And that doesn't that set on my heart. And like I told Kim, and I was telling her, I had a heaviness on me for like 3 days or so, and I couldn't understand why I was so heavy. But then after releasing myself, I understood that it was because this platform is not for us, it's for the people. And so, just to hurry up and give y'all a little background real quick. So when this platform was created, it came from a conversation, of course. But it also came because Angie's sister, Ro, was my mentor mom. And we were supposed to have this platform on her radio show. But unfortunately, because of her demise, it never happened. But I remember telling my sister the same thing that Zaria said. And that's why my heart was heavy, because I said, what am I going to do now that she's gone? Because I called her for everything. I had a mom, but I called her for everything.
Yep, I remember that.
I was like, what am I going to do? I don't know what I'm going to do. And I said, we were supposed to have been helping people, because I was like, you helped me, so now it's my turn to help somebody. And we was going to do it together, but now you're not here. What am I supposed to do now? And my sister Sarita said, you're supposed to take the baton and run with it. I said, but where am I running? She said, you'll figure it out. And when you get there, you'll know.
And you did. How about that one?
And we're here. We're here now. We have Roll Lanes. Roll Lanes is the page that we had, that wherever you need it, you go there. But again, sometimes seeing somebody and hearing somebody say, you know what? You're not alone. I did too. And makes it meet you where they are, and they feel more able to now, well, can we talk? So that's how Sister Chat came, because I called Kim and I said, Kim, can we talk? And
I was actually going through something in that moment, driving through something.
Wow. But God never said how you're going to show up. He just said he's going to show up, right? Listen, ladies, I think you're doing such a fantastic job. I have an 8:00 call. I love you. I'm here for whatever you need.
Thank
and
you.
I'm so proud of y'all. I'm so proud of y'all.
I got a new auntie.
Yes, you do. And don't forget it.
I'm not.
I love you guys, and I'm supportive of you. I'm your number one fan. I'm
you
always
more.
praying for you. Okay?
I love you more.
Keep doing what you got to do. See ya.
Amen.
Bye-bye.
Just to let you guys know about Auntie Angie. Auntie Angie, she works at the consortium, and she deals with this on the regular, dealing with domestic abuse and violence. So if you need to reach out to her, if you need to talk to her, please make sure you contact us here at the Sister Chat, and we will make sure that we will be here and provide you with her information so that she can contact you and you can get the necessary services that you need to get you through. Because remember, you're not alone. We're all here for you. I think she's still trying to get off. I don't know. Auntie Ange, you got it? She might be gone.
I think she froze, but it might disappear.
And so, you're not alone, people. You're really not alone. And It doesn't amaze me. It doesn't shock me. It does surprise me, but then it doesn't, because did you see how many people were saying, me too, me too, me too, me too? And it was like, what you mean you too?
Yep.
You know, so look.
Breathe.
Yes. Yes. Talking about breathing.
Breathe.
Lord, is a gentleman by the name of Jovan Cheney. And he's going to be coming through soon. No, not the piano, no, that's J, wait a minute. That's Jay Horns.
Okay.
Horns. But we have Jovan Cheney. He's actually a singer.
I knew the name sound. Where's he from?
Philly. He's from here.
I know he sound familiar. I knew it was some.
He has a song that's out called "Breathe to Love."
Okay.
And I'm trying to tell you that he has a war cry, and the war cry for love. And you know, we have a war cry at the church, but this brother has a war cry with love to make you stop and go. But you know, I'm you know, it's not really much or many times you catch me where I am speechless.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm at all, and I'm speechless from the young lady that we met today. You know, she had to tell her mother's story, and that was not easy for her.
And on top of that, I'm glad she shared what's going on now.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times people, they feel like it's one thing after the other.
Mm-hmm.
And life deals us those cards, and you deal with one thing after another.
Yep.
And not opportunity, but we all have to at some point start to compartmentalize life. So she was just in a moment where she was thinking about her mom, where she was telling her mom's story, where she was reliving those things, dealing with those emotions, unearthing, crying, pausing, breathing. And then you get another phone call about something else.
Yep.
Completely outside of that thing. So now she had to jump from those emotions to another set of emotions, to another set of things that now she's being sought after to deal with. And what I've come to know and to understand is that God chooses those people that he knows that can weather the storm. And we don't like going through the storm. Who likes to drive through a storm? You walking through a storm, you already got the rain. So first you're getting wet. Then the wind starts to blow. So now it blows your umbrella inside out. So now you can't protect yourself. Then you're walking down the street now and the cars are driving by and splashing water all over you. And so that's another thing. Then you're trying to get somewhere. Now you're driving in your car and the streets start flooding. All in that same moment of time. And those are the times when you really have to step back and call on God, recognize God for who he is, and knowing that you can't do it by yourself. You can't fix the rain. You can't control those cars that are going by and shh. When that umbrella is turned inside out, it's turned inside out and you can't fix it. All you can do is navigate through that process or through that journey and deal with each thing as it comes. You can't deal with it all at the same time. But understanding that each one of those things has their respective places where you have to sit down within yourself. You want to cry. You're not going to want to talk all the time. You're going to process it. You're going to pray. Sometimes you might be angry. But those are all the levels of processing what's going on. But remember that you never stay in the rain. And the rain does have effects on certain things, like your house. If you got a hole in your roof, it's going to leak. It's a reminder of the rain, but it doesn't tear down your house. So really, and I can only speak these things because of my life journey, because of what I've gone through, what I'm going through, and those things that I will go through in the future. Because it doesn't stop. It's just, how do you process those things when they happen? How do you process it? I've learned that I need God. That still quiet voice. I know that sometimes I just need to sit down and I don't need to be around nobody. I just need quiet. I just need peace. And know that it's okay to cry, because your cry is a release. Your scream, your yell is a release. You're throwing something is a release. And it's okay. Because it's in that moment is what you have to do in that moment. But know that you're journeying through, meaning you will get through, meaning there's the other side to that thing that you're going through. I just talked about the rain. The rain starts, but it don't always last. And you always have some residue of what happened. But you keep moving through life. But I know that, again, sister chat, my tribe, I know that when I got something going on, I'm going to pick up the phone. And there's moments where I can just say, you know what? I have nothing to say. Can you just pray for me? Because sometimes you need somebody else to pray for you on your behalf. Sometimes you don't have the words. You don't always know what to say. Yeah. So, it's when you call just to vent to your sister, to your brother, that's okay. They're there for that. And I'm seeing, it says time to unpack. We're always unpacking. You never completely unpack until God calls you home. Life is a journey. And my last thing that I'm going to say, and I'm so done for today, I believe, is that when you recognize that your enough is enough, you've now recognized how you deserve to be loved. And your being loved doesn't mean somebody just saying, oh, I love you, those words, or just feelings. Is no. What is done to exemplify the love? How do they talk to you? How do they treat you? Are they meeting those innate things that God put in you? Are they helping to build you up? Are they helping to nurture your gifts? Are you doing that for them as well? Because it has to be an equality in it, in a love relationship. And we know right from right, and we know wrong from wrong. When we see it on other people, we know it. When you recognize it, ask yourself, is this the way God would have me to be loved, to be treated, to be talked to be admonished, to be at peace? Right. Those are things that we have to think about, male and female. I keep going back to this, male and female, because we're in this together and we all have the same emotions. We all have the same thoughts. We journey through life together. And if they're not, working for your good, what does that mean? Working for your good, meaning working to make sure that God's best interest is at hand for your life and being worked out in your life. That's working for the good. If they're not being that, that is not what God has called for you. But until you get tired of being tired, until you get sick and tired, until you believe in your heart and in your mind and finalize enough is enough, you'll stay there. But that's my challenge. Because a lot of times we sit in stuff and we try to figure stuff out. But when you keep figuring out the same thing, like you take a piece of paper and you write out that same equation over and over, and you look at those pros and cons over and over, when the equation doesn't change and the pros and cons don't change, it's time for you to make a decision. So I'm done. I love you guys. I thank God for this time. We're going to continue to unpack and chat and love on you and love on us. Because our goal is for people to be freed up, and to walk victoriously, to walk in their power. And it starts with the hard stuff, dealing with the hard stuff.
Well, my word to that would be, even though you're going through everything that you're going through, don't give up. And yes, like him said, everything around you is coming down, falling down, breaking down. Don't give up, because there's a reason why it's happening. There's a reason why everything is falling down. But you're not going to know about it until after you clean it up and rebuild it up. And you'll see that it'll be standing stronger than it was when it first went down. So that's what I want to let you know. You may be down now, but when you get up, you're going to come up stronger than you were when you went down. I promise you will. And if it doesn't happen today or tomorrow, just know that it's okay to be okay. To know it's going to happen. That's what you hold on to. You hold on to the fact that it's going to happen. You hold on to the fact that it may not happen today, but it's going to happen. You hold on to your hope. Hold on to your hope. And when you don't know what else to do, you just let them speak to your heart. Just let them speak to you. If you be quiet enough. But you know what? Somebody may say right now, but you know what? I don't know God like that. I don't have that type of relationship with God. And you keep telling me, listen to him and talk to him. Maybe that's the problem. He wants you to have that relationship. He wants to get to know you. He's trying to get your attention. So he lets you meet people to understand, so that you can filter this and you can unpack this thing. And no, it doesn't mean you have to be religious, holy, and all that other good stuff. Don't let the perspective of hype lead you to not and miss out on the best thing that could ever happen in your life. The best thing.
And we're not being religious. We being real.
Real. But I just don't want you to give up. I want you to sit back, relax, and breathe. And when you can't do that, find the one thing that helps you do that. And when you release that moment, then you can go deal with anything that comes your way. You'll have your left and you'll have your right up, and you'll be ready to box this thing out. And when you can't and you don't know how, then guess what? You got two big sisters at the sister chat, and you got some friends that know them too. And they will help you unpack and beat that thing, whatever it may be. But I want you to understand, if you are in a violent situation, when you're ready to get out of it, you will. If you don't think you're strong enough to, you are. You can. We are here to help you because it's not going to be easy, because this is a routine, like Aunt Angie said. This is something that you've become accustomed to. It's just like brushing your teeth in the morning and getting washed, or taking a shower and knowing when you get out the shower, what's the next thing you do, because it's routine for you. You may be the one that drives off first and all the way to the bottom and then step out. Or maybe you might do your feet and then wipe up. But however you step out, know that in the time when you get off a routine and you say, I need to do different, I need to try something different, but I need some help, you can call on the sisters. And we're going to be here for you. And if you can't call on the sisters, and let's say you a brother, we got the No BS Duo Show. And my brother always is available. There's always somebody in the house for you. And you never know who's coming through the door, or you never know who you may know. Mm-hmm. And as a result of that, again, you get exactly what you need. Now, I know I did. Oh, hello, William.
Hey, William.
My big brother, he always shows up. Always got our back. It's always good when you got that A team that's behind you. And even that, just saying, you always got that team that backs you up. And if y'all don't think y'all have one, y'all looking at them. High five, Kim.
Is that a high five or a forward five?
I got all five of mine up.
You got 1, 2, 3. Oh, no.
I had a guys. I wanted you to hear something, because this is what I want you to say, and I want to thank Tyler Perry, because Tyler Perry was the one who helped me. And you know what? I gotta give my son Jared. I give him some credit today, because sometimes when you be teaching kids stuff, you don't be thinking they be hearing you. And I was like, yo, I ain't get a song for this week. He's like, Mom, the words to this song. This is the song. I was like, no. He's like, Mom, the words said da 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 da. I was like, that is the song. I said, you was listening. You know how to pick a song. And I want to also thank Jay Horns, because Jay Horns gave us his rendition of Speak to My Heart. And when you want to know and you don't know what to know, ask him to speak to your heart. And let them know, when I can't hear from you, I don't know what to do. And I won't step until you tell me to. And when you do that, you can guarantee that you're walking the right way. But let me help you guys. This is what I want you to say. To every situation that's going on and has come your way, you ain't got to give up.
It's never fully told.
This is what you say.
But again, fulfillment of a dream. It's more than it seems. Will the stars last? Will the pain pass? People only see the smile. They're unaware of all the trials one must endure. Just because he's sure he is right, so he fights through the night. It goes on. Don't know when the day will break, when it's high morning, or this song will end. Lost and gold can consume one's soul, and often will. Yet there is no cause till he accomplishes the cause. Wanna know who he driven to be? What's the real price of success? And this feeling of emptiness left in its grave, discerning the truth from the fake is the test. And though it hurts, yet nevertheless, at this pain I must wait. From this bitter cup I'll drink until this song, till it is. And every night I pray, Lord, let this cup pass. 'Cause I really didn't know how long it would last. Every week I'd feel the same pain. Residue of hurt would come again and again. Then all of a sudden your life came. Now I'm over it now. Over it now. I can't say how, 'cause I'm over it now. One morning I broke free. All of the chains just dropped off of me. People can talk about me much degree, but I'm all grown up now. I got the victory, and I'm over. Sail away. Yes, I can't see her, but it's over now. Say it again, that I'm over. I'm over it now. I'm over it now. But I'm over it now. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm over it now. Yeah. Thank you, Jesus. Yeah. Don't know what I will do, but I know I'll get through this song. It will end. Yeah, yeah.
So with that being said, we like to say to you, good night from the Sister Chat. God loves you, and we do too.